So far, we've chosen our theme, cut out some photos, and studied some good composition rules, and now it's time to jump in and actually compose this collage. Hey, this is Chelsea from Digital Art Teacher, and in this video we're going to focus on how to arrange your layers and use the transform mode to create a self-portrait collage. As you work, you'll want to move your layers around and reorder the items on your canvas. This can be confusing at first, but if you label your layers with the subject, that will make it easier for you in the end. You can rename your layers by double-clicking on the title and then typing your desired name. And if you press Tab in between, then you can quickly move between layers. In order to move your layers from front to back or back to front, it's really easy. You just click and drag on your layers until they are in the correct position. And I'm sure you want to change things around as you move along because you can always change the layers at any time during your project. You may also want to resize your layers, and we do this easily with the Control-T option. With this option, you can not only resize images, but you can rotate the image, skew it, distort it, change the perspective. And the difference between distorting and changing the perspective is that you can only move one plane at a time. So I can't move both the X plane and the Y plane, just one plane. And warp. Now for the warp option, you'll notice that you get a pop-up here and it tells you can't do that. So in order to make the warp option work, you've got a couple of things you're gonna need to do. So you press Enter to make the transform final. You're going to rasterize by right-clicking on the layer and finding rasterize. And then you're going to apply the layer mask. Now you should be able to Command-T to transform, right-click, and warp if you decide you need to warp your images. You could play around with these options here and do a lot of different things, and I'll let you do that with your own picture. However, I should caution you, before you do this, you need to know that this will be a non-reversible action. As soon as you save and exit this program, you will not be able to undo it. So you need to make sure that everything you've done with your mask is everything you're going to need to do. And if not, you can always just make a copy by doing Command-J. And then you can do your rasterize and you can do your applying the layer mask and work with it from there. The last thing you may want to do with this transform mode is to flip your image. This may be exactly what you need if, for example, you want your subject to face in towards your canvas so that the eye moves toward the middle of the canvas. However, you need to be careful because it may cause some problems that you may not notice at first. For example, if your subject is wearing a t-shirt with lettering on it, then when you flip it, the lettering will also be flipped. So just make sure that you check and double check your image for the details. So spend some time composing your image, change the order of your layers or the size of the pieces in your collage, and if you sense that anything is missing, you may need to go find and cut out more items to put in your collage. As you're moving items around, you can use your arrow buttons on your keyboard to make it a little easier for you to control it. You may also want to come in and change your mask from time to time if you feel like something needs to be adjusted. For example, with this arm, I want to get my brush tool with B. I want to make a soft brush. And I just want to soften this transition a little bit. And this is what I have ended up with. I may change a few things here and there, and of course in the next video we're going to talk about some polishing ideas, but I think I'm going to start with this. So once you find a composition you're happy with, make sure to save your document and then you can move on to the next video.